No hasukwe. Che. Play the music.
Yes. I'm about to play. Mm.
Different Ramani. Before I got some more. I
Wix, you can edit your meta tags, page by page, or all in one go.
Oh, I don't gawk yourself. Sell your vote, you don't sell your future, but that's sell your birthright. How much self? Divide them by 4 years. How much with that? No sell your vote, oh. No matter the thing them they tell you. No matter how the thing they do you. No matter how much money them they give you. No sell your vote, oh. No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, don't sell your photo. Yeah. Okay. If you look at the situation, everything harsh for this our nation. Poverty rising and inflation. Line still day for the fuel station. Things gotta change by determination. This election, no intimidation. Protect us election, we gotta make sure everybody votes count for the future. For the future.
Shine your eye, well. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let them take your vote from you. Now your future be that. Yeah. Now your future be that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Together we can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah. One voice. We can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah.
No sell your vote, oh. No sell your vote. No matter the thing them they tell you. Decision made out. No matter how the thing they do you. No matter how much money them they give you. No sell your vote.
Okay, Banya Cairo. Hey, I beg you, photo. Time don't come again, no. Them done they show their face, oh. No sell your right, oh. Now follow them fight, oh. Hey, it's over to you, so not just speak up, you yo. So ginger, don't let anybody spoil them for you. The power is in you. No sell ammo for money, oh. No sell your boat, your right, your hoe. For fufu,
mai za su ba ku sai ya kare duk wani tanadin ku sun shashare hankalin ku kar ya bace gaba ta fi bayewa taimaki kanka taimaki kanki ni rayuwa da inganci.
No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, don't sell your food for your bad. Hey.
Mommy, daddy, CC, baby, no make mistake today, we go spoil your tomorrow. Mommy, daddy, CC, baby, the time don't come again to go, so make we match. We go come to work together, we go decide our future.
Oh, no matter where you come from, we're part of a great nation, so everyone sing with me, yeah. From the hilltops of Obudu and Enugu, from the plateaus of Jos and Taraba, from the food baskets of Cocoa and Otubo, yeah, to the smiling, shining sun in Sokoto, we got photo. From Ondo to Jagua, we go photo. From Port Harcourt to Kaduna, yeah, till no one is left behind. Nigeria is yours and mine. Oh, yeah.
Alonyanga put together. with each other. Oh, let my vote.
Yes, don't sell your vote. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your vote. People, you don't sell your vote. Welcome to the Women's Stance. My name is Grace Goa. I am the president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. I'm also the founder of Legacy Holding Foundation. And I'm really looking forward to a Liberian musician coming up with a song for this election. The Nigerian people did their song. I'm playing it because I can't find any Liberian song to actually play for the elections, so we can enjoy it, telling the people to go and vote, and they shouldn't sell their vote. They should look at their suffering. We want some artists to come up with something. We are pleading to y'all come up with something. Even y'all won't tap us into it. So we try to maybe donate to that, but our song need to come out for this presidential elections in Liberia because we are at a crossroads. Liberia needs to be delivered. You can come in, Vera.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi. I'm Veronica George Edwards, and I am the financial secretary for the Liberian Women Advocacy Network. And we're here today to talk about trending topics facing Liberia. Come on, join the ride and let's move along.
Yeah, thank you very. If you want, you can help us to share the video, to different platforms. How you doing, Benjamin Everett? Thank you for watching. You can share it to the other platforms that maybe you're part of, so we can get enough people to watch. But today, our main topic would be the women participation in the elections process. And also we'll talk about the fortunate situations that are happening concerning this election, the voters registration. And then we'll talk about the different presidential candidates, and what they bring to the table, or a little bit more the ones that we know that really will be in the lead when it comes to be the president that will lead Liberia to a better place. So these are the things that we'll be talking about. But first thing is, we want to encourage you guys that if you're a woman in Liberia, you want to make sure that you don't get discouraged in this process. We know that a lot of stuff going on, in the country, and sometimes women tend to get very discouraged with everything that's going on at a point in time, and then sometimes they don't want to be bothered with what's concerning the elections because some of them are giving up, and some of them don't want to be bothered with anything because they're going through depression. You're seeing their children in the country not going to school, and they don't even have money, no jobs available for them to work. The businesses is not they are not processing like they are not profiting like the way they're supposed to profit. And then it makes these women, some of them just get discouraged and they give up the hope because we were there before in Liberia. Although, the election process, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I just used to see sometimes my mother was just weary, although she worked with the government, but she was weary sometimes because she always knew that maybe the elections were not fair. I don't know what was going on, but there was no interest there. I never saw any interest like the way we have interest now as women, and we are pushing, for our fellow women to be a part of these elections. Go register to vote, do what you're supposed to do. Your adult children, encourage them to go and register to vote. Talk to them concerning the election process and who you think in the race that will help Liberia for tomorrow. Let them have their input too and tell you how they feel about what's going on in the country and what kind of way their vote will be swaying the person that they're looking at to vote for. So you have this discussion in your houses and you encourage your neighbors to go and vote because women are very important in this process at this time. When you're voting, you have to think about your children. You have to think about the rape cases that are going on in the country, and whereas some of your children are being raped and nothing was done. So that's the reason why you have to go to the polls to vote. For me in America, when the people are doing voting, I usually will go to vote because of my children, especially the insurance. And I usually will go to vote because of my salary. I want to put somebody that will make sure they raise the income limit for us to have enough money to support our lives in here in the States. That's the thing I vote for. What the president will bring to the table and what they will be able to offer the American people that will benefit myself because I live in this country. Ferro, you can come in if you want to say something on that.
Yes, as Grace was saying that the voting process in our country in Liberia is very important, so our voices can be heard. And women are very essential to the voting process in Liberia, especially for right now. So please go out. Don't forget to register to vote. That's important. That's an important factor in Liberia, especially at this time that elections are right around the corner. We're looking at for October. October is not far. I think we're about 5 months away from
Mhm.
that election, from our elections in Liberia. So go out, make your voices heard, women.
Yeah. Go out and vote so that when you die, just in case you will die this year or next year, you will know that you voted for somebody that will create a good country for your children that you're leaving behind. So that's some of the things that when you go into vote, you think about. So you go and vote, you cast your vote for this person, where they make the environment where you live, the society, whether they will make it conducive with all the plans and things that they say they're having, and whether this person has the technical know-how to execute those plans. So then you want to think about those things before you go and vote, and encourage your adult children to also vote. You see, you have to also think about your children, living a good environment, and the school system, whether the government that will come in place will be able to fix the school system for your children to have proper education for the benefit tomorrow. You see, so you have to vote for all those things, because if you don't vote for those things, then it means that you're casting your vote for nothing. If you don't think about the candidate you're voting for and what good that they can bring to the table to benefit the country, that will be your trickle down effect to your life, means that you will benefit. Once they benefit the country, it benefit all citizens. So that's the reason why we are telling women to be a strong participation in this voting process this year. Because most of the women will leave it to those men, and the younger generation of guys to go and vote. But nowadays you don't want to do that. In every country now, all the people are getting together, they are voting, and they are making sure that their voices are heard. Like me here in the States, what I do, my son just turned 18. My daughter, she was 18 3 years ago. As soon as they hit that age, I take them and make sure they get a voter registration card. And then we start to talk about, have the conversation in the house on how to sway their vote. My daughter, she will always come on my side and say, Mommy, you the mom, because anything you tell me, I would think, but I would do it because I know you will tell me the right thing. My son will argue a little bit and start telling me, because he said he did research, he'll be reading stuff, and he will tell me the reason why he will vote the other way or why he will vote with me. So I'm calling on Liberian mothers. Have the conversation with your adult children. Don't get discouraged. Don't feel back, don't feel that, like, you can't have an input. Tell them your experience here, because you've been on the earth before them. You live in Liberia and experienced the war. Most of the kids now, they did not even go through that war. It was after the war they were born. So tell them the reason why you think where the vote should go, the reason why you think it should go there, and what benefit it will bring to them growing up. They who getting already in the adulthood and trying to live their life. And you have to go and do all those things. You want to say something else before we come concerning that?
Well, I think your son is becoming one of the young politicians because he has his he has his objectives
Oh
to
yeah.
why he should vote and why he should register. That's a good one.
Yeah, he always like, oh mommy, he would tell me everything, concerning the different candidates, and he would do his real research. Even the governors that we vote in our area where we live in Pennsylvania, the governor, the senators, he already knew about them. He even told me about the senator I should vote for, and I went to do my research. He was right. So I said, you see, by that time he was 17, so he on it. And it's good for the children to have an open mind to that, because when we swear the votes and stuff, when we tell them how to vote, it affects their lives. So they have to be able to make the decision too on how to vote. You can just tell them what you think, but they have to make that decision on how to vote and who to vote for. So women participation in this election in Liberia is very, very important. You do not allow the men to take over and go and vote, and you just sit back and say, I'm tired, and what I see going on, and I can't take it anymore. The country, this, that. It means that you are destroying your children's future. Because if you don't vote for that in this election, if you don't vote the right way, your children future will be damaged. Your grandchildren future will be damaged, and then you will have to blame yourself for that because you play a role in voting the wrong person into power. And that's why we are saying go and vet your different candidates, do what you have to do, and go and vote. For me, I would recommend that you vote Dr. Clarence Pay Monipa for President of the Republic of Liberia. I think you saw his interview on Spoon Network yesterday. This man schooled Liberians. They were on the platform. We who were watching, I want we have our listening party and all. We who were watching his school us on governance and government and what he was going to do and how he was going to deliver it. I was so bewildered. The Englishman would say, I was so happy to see a Liberian man able to defend what he wants to do for the country. It has been so long since I saw an intelligent Liberian man in the race of presidency able to talk and present himself to the people and tell them, say, you know what, this is what I want to do with confidence. And he has the experience and the education to back it. But we will come to that. Right now, we are still talking about voting. And one of the things that happen in the country is the voters registration fraud. There's a lot of fraud going on when it comes to voters registration. It's so sad. People are registering babies. Babies are getting voter registration card. Children under the age of 18 are getting it, which is wrong. It's not supposed to be that way. But in our country, there is no law and order and no process and structure that goes on well. It is so sad because the country don't have a system. So it's hard to detect these things than when the people go in. Because usually you just go to the registration office to do your registration or whatsoever they have the place for you to go register. The people, you just show your ID, the people put your information on. There was no way if the system were made right that you are going to ever be able to go and register twice. But we don't have that kind of stuff in Liberia because they have not set that kind of process for the country. And it's killing our country to the core. Today, I was in a meeting here in Pennsylvania. I was just telling Veronica George. And I was talking from one thing to another. The people introduced this Ghanaian guy to me, his campaign. And they were running his campaign. He's running for representative in one of his districts in Ghana. And the whole entire Black American community and some of the white people, Caucasians, got together to raise money for this man in Ghana. Because Liberians don't know how to sell ourselves. I had to sit there and actually speak on why they should come on our side to help us to vote people in our country because they are direct lineage to Liberia. They have direct lineage to Liberia as African Americans because the free states, they're in Liberia and they created that country was made, the country was actually established on that free slave, the process of whatsoever it was established on. So if they will help anybody, it should be us Liberians. So I had to tell them that because I got so discouraged that if these people come to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for a man running a district in Ghana, they show the whole video of the district, it's a village. And they showed the video and they were so excited that they were going to help this man and they were going to go and build his district for him. But they are not even doing it for our Liberian people because we don't connect with the people like that. We are not nationalism. We always do tribalism. That's what's killing our country today. Pharaoh, you want to come in?
Yes, you told me that story today, and I was like, wow. And I think some of the reasons are that you said tribalism because we're not nationalism, and the American community probably don't know a lot about our Liberian society because we don't network. We don't network with these people. Number one, number two, and if some of them know about the Liberian, the Liberian community is all about these corrupt people that we're not corrupt leaders. They're not trying to build the country to a level where we Liberians will enjoy the benefit of it. So those are common things that will make us not be a part of it. But it was good that you went to that meeting and you were able to express your concerns and express some of these issues that we're feeling as Liberians. so that we can be able to go out there and network for our community, for our country. And that's a good thing. And I applaud you for doing that too.
Yeah, and I was just like, I felt so discouraged. It took a whole lot from me when I saw that going on, because that's the same reason why we missed the money that was supposed to be given to Liberia for the bicentennial. And because Liberians, we don't have the proper people that's in government that's supposed to seek these things, that's supposed to go out there and speak for Liberia. And when they speak for Liberia, the people believe them, not just to go and say, oh, you know how they usually talk. We want some people to be there who know what they're doing, who know exactly what's going on, who know how to tell the people this is what is the case, this is the history. And I mean in detail, I'm not talking about the regular one, the basic one, what everybody say, but you have to be able to convince the people in what it is that they need to do for Liberia and the reason why they need to do these things. And so it was just a blow to me because the bicentennial already was a flop in Liberia. Ghana got the best of the bicentennial, and they don't have that history. We have that history. Why should the people give them all that money and go to their country for these big programs while they're supposed to be coming to our country? But because the way our country lay out, in fact, the people that came to the country at that time, the place was so dirty, and they talk about that, so they don't want to be part of us. And then, in fact, the people that they meet to have the conversation with don't even know what they're talking about. So the people like these people don't even know what they're talking about. Why are we even coming here? So, it just took me aback that, God, these people are about to, and they're calling me to even be a part to raise money for the man. I was like, no. I mean, I would like to raise money, but I would like to raise money for my country. So even if you try to even ask the people to raise money for your country, when they send it to a certain entity in the government, what would they do? Is steal it. So all these things that what we go through, our country is really suffering and bleeding, my people. That's
Yeah.
why we are talking about this voting, this election consistently until the election day. We'll come here consistently and tell our people to go out there, open your eyes, and go and vote the right person in for president of Liberia. This one is depending on you. You people have voted so long because of sentiment, because of love. You think the person been there forever, so they own the place. They need to be president before anybody else can come. You need to change your direction at this time. Too many qualified people are in a race for us to just be looking at two different people. Yeah, we have to do our research and change our direction at this time, because the one way we have been voting is not working for us, and we need to change it. Liberians need to open their eyes and change it and vote the right leader in position for Liberia to be a better place. The voter registration fraud is going on a lot. I have a video here. I will let Veronica George come in, and then I will play the video and we'll talk about the voter registration fraud. We'll also talk about what to do, on elections day when you see this thing happening. You have to be wise and smart. What to do on election days when you see it happening. So, Vera, you can come in.
Yeah, as you were talking about the voters registration fraud, is bad to see that these people will go to all length, to the lowest length of registering children, babies, our babies to vote. It's not you, and you can't you look at the child and know that that child is not even 18 years old, but yet and still you're calling them to come and register and have a registration card to go out there to vote on. uh, what is all that for? The corruption, I mean, corruption in Liberia cannot stop. At least you can look at it clear cut and say this is not right. But you would still do it to make yourself feel what? What are you trying to prove? Huh? What are we trying to prove in Liberia? I mean, it is so bad, it's so wrong. And we are going to call it out. We are going to keep calling it out, whether you do something about it or not, because once we put it out there, you know that people will be looking, and we are looking, because you're not going to cheat our candidates from going out there to vote, our people from going out there to vote for the candidate of their choice. Don't fake it. Make it real.
Yeah, so Vera, you know what? I'm going to share the screen so we can play this other fraudulent thing that's been going on.
Can you imagine? This is a child register. at the Parliament Registration Center.
You wondering money here? You want fight?
That's a little boy
Is
registered to vote.
an 80-year-old child? They forced him to say he's 2005 born.
Look at that.
Oh my God. This is what Thomas Fala is succeeding doing in our district. Okay. Let me see the card.
Right? When you finish turning it back. The finna come in.
Oh my people, so how is this even possible? How is this possible for them to have this little child registered with a neck ID to go and cast a vote on October 10th or whatsoever the senator time that they will be voting? How is it that they have this child? Look how innocent he is in his face. How do they even have their boy to be registered to vote? How I don't know. Somebody really need to tell me something. I don't know if you know. Is it possible for them to register that child? I mean, even if you've seen the boy and he was even tall and like 6'2" like my son, you can say, okay, the boy tall, so the people maybe say, look at the boy, you can see innocence in his face.
Yeah.
You need to come here and say something, bro.
Well, and you can look at a child and know that he doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just holding an ID like they got me on video. And I don't even know, but I'm happy to be here, you know? The child is innocent. Why? NEC does not see it, but their name is on the back of that car, and that car is real. That's not fake. We're not faking it here, and we're gonna keep calling it out. It's wrong. NEC, you need to come up and speak on these issues, on these fraudulent things that are going on in these different counties. And I heard that the name Thomas Fala,
Senator, right?
and he's one of those that are going out there.
No, he's not a senator. I think they flock him when he went for the senatorial race. That's why they beat him, because they always cheat for everything.
Yeah, he was the one that ran against Darius Dillon, right?
Yeah, and they beat him like Dumpador. Yeah, and he's still going there, and that's what they say on the video. And that because of Thomas Fala, I think the boy got registered to vote or something.
The child doesn't even know what he's doing. He just has the card, and you tell him to go vote, he will go and vote. Probably give him, and they're probably paying his children to do it.
Yeah, this is really sad, though. This is really sad.
And the international community has to look at these things and know that it is wrong, and they should not tempered with our voting system, because I know Liberians, open your eyes. Do not let these people play with your lives. This is our lives in Liberia they're playing with. These are our children's life, our future generation lives. They are playing with the children's lives in Liberia over there. They need to stop. Y'all need to be aware of these things. These are awareness that we're bringing out, and these are not fake things we're bringing out. We're not just making up story. You see the ID card. If you look at an 18-year-old and up, that ID card that child has in his hands with his face on there is the same ID card that an 18-year-old and up has to go out there and vote on October 3rd. And you look at that child and know very well that child is not 18 years old. We are looking at that video. Be aware. Do not act crazy with your lives in Liberia. Your future depends on your vote.
Sure.
Pharaoh, don't tell the poor October 10 or October 10.
I said October 10th, maybe you didn't hear.
Oh, it to me. Mom, it sounded like October 3rd to me. But what on the screen? Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of these images around here. This one that is on the screen, I think that was the first video I've seen. All the other ones are images that we see that underage children are given, the biometric photo card to vote in the upcoming elections. I mean, it is wrong, but then who do you blame? I was wondering when I saw, especially this image that is up now with these 3 little boys, I was wondering who took them to go get the voter registration card. And where were the parents though? Because I was thinking about it, I said, this is how people's children get kidnapped and then they are killed for ritualistic purposes. Where were the parents? What the person who took the children to get the ID card, what did they tell the parents for the parents to let the children go along with that person to get voter registration card? Or is it the parent themselves that took the children? So there's so many questions surrounding the issue because we know some of the parents too, they are leaning in a particular way and they themselves are involved in the criminal activities because they want to see whoever they support back in the seat. And so they themselves are involved in this. And I don't know what the National Elections Commission is doing about it. I hear that they haven't even been funded properly or funded at all for the elections coming up. So maybe it's just beyond their control. Maybe they want to act, but they really can't act because they don't even have the funding to hire people to be at these station registration sites to make sure that these kind of activities are not taking place. So it's just a big old mess right now. I hope that they get it straightened up before October 10th, but if not, during the elections, they will have to have, all the political leaders and all the political parties involved, they will have to have people physically at the polling stations to make sure those who are coming with voter registration card, looking at it and monitoring to make sure no children are coming to vote. Because as it is right now, it's out of control. Nobody's there to stop it. So the only other hope is that during the elections, all these political parties, the political leaders, I hope they will have watchdogs at every polling station. I know it's going to be costly because I hear that it's a costly process. I hope they will have watchdogs at every political polling station to make sure they are not seeing children coming in and to make sure that those who are presenting their ID cards, their faces match the individual who's presenting it.
Yeah, and it's just the thing is just so sad that in this day and age, Liberia still cannot get it together. It's one thing if you've seen the people, if there's a fraudulent process in the election, which will entails other things, but the power the people carrying babies, and these babies are on the neck, NEC registration card with a picture to vote. I don't know. I can't fathom that. Why is this country so down to the lowest of low? Why is it these people cannot just allow something to be for real in the country that the world is laughing at Liberia? I tell you, this is pure sadness.
It's
This
sad.
is pure sadness.
Sad. And Vera just hit the nail, the hammer on the nail. Mothers, why are you letting your children go and register to vote? Are you teaching your children the right thing for the future, or are you teaching them to lie, steal, and be corrupt? Because are you teaching your children?
The mothers are responsible.
Letting your children go out there to register, or
those children are in the streets, man. Sometimes the mother don't even know that these things are happening. With that also, you're right when you say that if they're aware, why are they allowing it to happen? But then I would say if they are not aware, because most of the time they go in the street and they leave their parents in house, they just go pass around to hustle. These children, they're hustling at the age of 9, 10. So when they do those things, and maybe the people see them in the street and say, oh yeah, I can't take $10, go register to vote, we'll get you card. And then after the train register, they take the card from them until the elections, and maybe they will give it to somebody else to go and cast a vote or get a particular child to go and vote. So, they're Liberians.
A sad thing, the charity begins at home. So, like Vera said, they're already teaching their children how to lie and steal and to be corrupt. And that is bad though, and that is why the country has to change. That is why they have to change leadership, because the whole country is just a big old mess. Why would you say that? I know some of the children are in the streets, but I think most of them, their parents are involved too, because most of them are leaning towards government that is in charge, even though they are suffering. Even though they are getting nothing from this government, the children are dying every day. Those very children that are in the streets can't even go to school. And those people are calling family members overseas, family members all over the world, asking them for support. Oh, my child sick. Oh, my child didn't eat today. Oh, my child out of school. But yet and still, they're teaching them how to steal. They're teaching them how to be corrupt. They are teaching them not to be to not be good citizens of tomorrow. They are already destroying the children's future, because if you teach a child how to cheat the system while he is still young, when he grows up, what do you think he's gonna do? That's the mentality he's gonna grow up with. He's gonna grow up with that mindset that it's okay to always cheat to get your way. And so I kind of blame the parents too, because I think maybe not all of them, and you're totally right. Most of the children are in the street because their parents are so lazy. They send a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old are the ones doing the selling in the street. The 5-year-olds are the ones who going to go and and get daily bread for the mind. Sitting down home lazy. They put the little children in the street. A lot of child labor going on. So I kind of blame the parents too, because I don't even know who took the photo of those children. But if I were the person who took that photo of the children, we're going to take all those IDs from them and probably take it to the National Elections Commission's office and report it and say, I collected these from underage children who are not eligible to vote, and here are the cards. But then again, you take it to the National Elections Commission, the very people in there, they will take it to and go give it to them under somebody to vote. So the whole system is just messed up.
No, but
And that's the reason why, and when we that's the reason why that Liberians, you need to open your eyes though. These elections is very, very serious for Liberia to make a step forward. If you don't open your eyes and you allow these elections to slip out of your hand because you love somebody more than yourself, or you love the person more than your children, and because the person you been supporting the person, so it means that you can't change. Oh yeah, we just stick on the side of pro king. Can't more. Very impressed of the young Dr. Clarence, very intelligent, but already supporting ABC. ABC is also intelligent. My brother, at any point in time, you have to choose a side. People are intelligent in the race, but who can deliver? That's what intelligence is. I mean, a lot of people are intelligent, but if they get in the race, can they deliver to the country? That's the first question you're supposed to ask yourself to start making a change in your direction. Is this person have the competency in us to be able to engage world leaders and come up with something great for the country? Have they done it before? Do they have government, public service in government? That's the thing you have to start to think about. Or you just because I was behind the person, I was just with me here. We have to get from that notion of doing those kind of things, and we have to start thinking the bigger picture. We are no longer using typewriter. This time that computer we're using a MacBook, that the one we're using. And you said because you were using typewriter for many years, so you will stick on typewriter, my brother. My old typewriter, when they bought for me while I was going to the Royal Institute for Security, so I left it right in my mouth in looking at here. I never brought it behind me because I knew when I would come to America, I was going to be using computer. So you cannot stick on something and say, oh, and you see the big change that come in and say, oh, I will not be able to do that because I was already here. And you know the other side is more promising. You have to change your direction and make a wise decision for the children of the nation, for yourself, and for the rest of the people of the country. This is getting so sad. Look at the kind of fraud that's going on. And that's why I just wanted to bring up the elections day. Liberians need to stand up on the elections day. If you in your district, you in your county, and you see the bringing truck of people coming to your county, you know the people, you never seen them there before. They're coming to vote. They don't sound like you. My brother, you're telling say you can't vote here. Whether you got a voter registration card, we don't know you. You're not voting here because when they vote to whosoever they vote into that place for your district or your county, it means that you will have to live with that person. They're getting back in their truck and they're going back to where they come from. You the one will have to suffer it for the rest of the other 9 years or whatsoever they will stay in that senatorial post, or for the presidency for 6 years. So you need to fight for yourself at this time. Liberians, We like for people to fight for all. We let him down. I don't know what kind of country people they like to beg for money and always want to be begging for everything. I just rather have my own money than to ask anybody for it, anybody to help me. So I know things are high in Liberia, but you need to take a stance. So I would like Veronica George come on the people, citizen arrest they need to do in the country on October 10th. Yeah.
They do. And just to piggyback on what you said about them bringing trucks from Guinea and Sierra Leone to come in and vote, knowing that these people are not even citizens of Liberia. Those are some of the fraudulent things that we're going to talk about, and we'll bring them out. And I also believe that the news reporter who videotaped that little child and his registration card, I believe they're all fighting to bring these people up. Whether they pursue it further, we don't know. But if they can report those things, that means that they too are not in support of what is going on, and there was a need for them to go out and see it for themselves and bring those firsthand evidence that those things are happening, and we need to look at it. And I know most of the mothers who children are registering to vote, they might not have the communication line that we're out here talking about. They might not have the cell phones, the modern day cell phones that other people have to watch these videos, these podcasts that we are out here and giving them the awareness. But let them know. I need to let them know that your children are not doing the right things, and the future depends on these things that they're doing. And they are corrupting the system, the election system, and that's not nice for their life. They're still young. Let them be able to say the truth and do something right for their lives, because it depends on them. If you vote somebody this election season, this October, into office, knowing that you're going to be suffering for the next 6 years, that that person doesn't even come out to talk to you, to see your parents, and you're just sitting there and they're giving you $20 or $50 to go and register to vote for them because you see that money. Well, there are hard times. I know there are hard times for you. Well, the harder times will come when you voted this person in, and they don't even look back to give you another $50. So think about it. What do you want? A fast a dime or a slow penny? What do you want? Think about it.
A fast dime or a slow nickel. Yes. So yeah, a fast dime. But Ra, I wanted you to come in on I know Popo say, yeah, I am entitled to my opinion. Yes, I am entitled to my opinion, and you are entitled to yours. So you brought your opinion and I gave you mine. So but I want Ra to come in and talk about what the citizens supposed to think about doing as far as these people that had truck people in to come and register. When these same people to come back and vote, what do you think they should be doing? Because right now, the people don't trust the government, they don't trust the NEC system, the National Election Commission. They don't trust them, because if they trusted them, this man we are taking that information to them. Trust me, that information with those boys in register, it will have been long. We're going to hear that investigation going on. But I don't think the people trust the people like that. They don't trust the system. What do you think the community can do for themselves when that time comes and they see people coming in their district and trying to vote to destroy their country? What do you think they should be doing? If you can come in.
I'm not sure. I don't think they can actually confront those people that are coming, and that's what I say. I think it would be wise for the political leaders on election day to make sure they have watchdogs at every polling station if they can afford it and if they can, but it would be very necessary, in my opinion, for them to have watchdogs all over, so that people who don't live in those communities, when they come in, the community dwellers can report to someone who is a watchdog at the polling station and say, look, these people came in to vote, but they don't live in this community. We think that they were trucked into the community to come and vote. And then to who are actually watching the polling station can report it to other authorities that are there for them to take action. But I don't think dwellers of that community can have any kind of confrontation with people who are being trucked in, because you don't want anybody getting hurt in the process, or you don't want anybody dying in the process. And that is why it would be very necessary at this point in time, maybe mandatory, even mandatory, that all the political leaders who are contending for the presidency at the polling stations on election day, they have to have as many poll watcher or watchdogs that can be at the polling stations, along with the community dwellers, to say, look, you live in the community. If you see anybody who don't belong here, if you see anybody who was struck here, let us know. That way, put it to authorities, and then the authorities can take action at that moment.
Okay, but I understand you are right very much, but Liberians have to learn to fight for themselves. Now, doing citizen arrest, they put do it here all the time. You don't have to. Nobody have to be hurt, but you have to bring attention to people that you see be trucking your community, and you know that these people, they have no or they are not dwellers there. You guys don't really know them there, so they can say something like, confront the officers that they're like, these people don't live here. You're gonna do a quick investigation that they don't live here, they don't need to be here, they're not gonna vote here. And bring attention to it. So just in case if the election is rigged, the people will know that these things were happening in a different community, and the Liberian Post stood against it. Instead of just sitting down there and watching what happened and don't do anything, you don't have to go and fight, but you got to bring awareness to it. Like, this is what's going on. These people were truck here, they're not going to vote here. And we want the authority to make sure it doesn't happen. And then maybe the police will come and start to talk to the people. How you doing? Where you living? Where your house here? And stuff like that. It will bring attention to it during the election so that people can know what's going on. All right, you want to say something
before Pharaoh come in? I wanted to ask you a question. Just a follow-up question before Pharaoh come in. So then what happened to those people who, they don't necessarily live in that area, but they had to go there to register to vote because they missed okay, let's say, for example, I lived in Monserrato and I missed the election, the registration period for Monserrato. I didn't get registered. But in Grand Bassa County, I'm originally from Grand Bassa County, and if Grand Bassa County is still has registration ongoing, I can go there and register also, so that on election day I can be able to travel to Grand Bassa County and register. And actually vote. But those people over there might not necessarily know me. So in that kind of situation, what happens?
In that kind of situation, the thing is that you know your people, you know Liberians, because these people are trucking people from Guinea, from Sierra Leone, and from other countries. So you know a typical Liberian. When you see, even here, we go to the grocery store, you see a Liberian person, don't even have to open them up, you know. So when the people come here in your country, they look very, very strange, and you feel that they are not Liberian, you start to talk to them. Hello, what's up, and see if they talk to you, you will find out whether they actually are Liberians, that they have the right to vote there, or they are not. So if you see a deep accent different from the Liberian accent, then that's a concern. You have to bring it to authorities. This man don't sound like Liberian. What is he doing here to vote?
No, but I'm talking about Liberian on Liberian too. I'm not talking about.
No, it's not Liberians on Liberians. Liberians, any Liberian can register anywhere to vote. The country is for Liberia. It's for Liberians. So I can be in Monserrato. I can go to Nima, register to vote. If my mom from Nima, I decided, what?
Of the way you put it, what if the people of Nima don't know you? That's
what when I mean don't know you, I mean that it means that you are not a Liberian national. You are not a citizen of Nigeria. Yes.
Okay.
Because you don't know if the people go and vote. Because I went to Nigeria in the Nigerian elections when I was in Nigeria. I just went there to carry one of my friends to vote. And the people know that you not. That's why I was not even in the line, because I was not Liberian. And they were talking. I was talking about I sat on the side. The people will know. They will know that you're not from the country. They will know that you're not from that particular, you are now a Liberian person to vote in that place. And that's the kind of people I'm talking about. The people they're trucking from different countries and bringing to that into Liberia to vote. I'm not talking about a typical Liberian trying to vote somewhere else because they didn't register in the other place. No. I'm talking about the foreigners that they're taking to come and vote in our country. And I just think that is totally wrong. They shouldn't be doing that.
Okay, I got it.
I thought they did each polling each polling station does have they do have their representatives from the candidates do have representatives at
Different
each of
parties.
the polling station.
You still have to have poll watchers. You need extra eyes.
Yeah, but the extra eyes, where are they coming from? It could be from one party, and one party is gonna overlook those extra eyes.
But
So
everybody is supposed to send a representative.
that's what I'm saying.
But that's why
Everybody should have the representative there, because if you have a watchdog from one party, forget it. That whole district that person won the polls in that district. So you do have to have representative that from each party that will be watching those polls and watching those people that are coming in. That, like Grace said, some of the accents are deep, but we should also realize that a lot of our Liberians live in neighboring Guinea and Sierra Leone, and they speak the most likely speak like those people that they live with. Because I know that my family member lives in Sierra Leone, and he speaks totally like a Sierra Leonean, but he's a Liberian. He was born Liberian. So we have to watch that also. That those accents, the way of speaking might be different, but they're still born Liberians.
Okay, but I mean, the people in a district, they would know what they want to do at a particular time. I know that if I was in Liberia, nobody coming to my district, and you look very totally strange, and you got a deep accent for another country, you gotta be telling us whether you are Liberian living in that country. You gotta give us some information about Liberia, because it means that you live in Liberia before, and we want to know, and for you to have the right to vote. So I mean, we're not getting totally right, but something has to be done. Something has to be done. But we're moving forward. You guys saw yesterday, Dr. Clarence Peye Moniba. Dr. Moniba, yesterday, that interview with Spoon. In fact, every interview that Dr. Moniba has, he delivers. He delivers very, very well, because he knows exactly what he is saying, and he knows exactly what he has done. He knows exactly that he was part of this thing. I mean, he knows. Because some people in the government, they work there, they still don't know what they're doing. But this man really did a job. He has the experience, he has the education, he has the background, and he knows what he's saying. And I was so proud of the man. Like, I said, God, I don't know this man from anywhere. I just met him through these elections. But I am really never saw him in my life before. But I'm really just impressed for a Liberian person, or Liberian male running in a campaign for elections for the presidency of Liberia, to be able to deliver to us, give us information. I learned, the man schooled us yesterday, the things I never even had no clue of concerning government, concerning how things run in government, things are running in government. I learned yesterday from Dr. Moniba. I was so impressed until I went to bed ready smiling. I went to Bill Smiling last night. So I want one of you to come in, or Pharaoh can come in first, and then Pharaoh, tell us what was the rare, very good moment for you yesterday in Dr. Moniba interview with Spoon Television Network. And man. I mean, people were under the comments. I was just like, oh my God. People were just like, oh, this man, where did he come from? And that's the reason why I have problem with people who say, oh, I was already on the party, so I can't change my direction. Oh, yeah, okay. So you going out with the woman you going, or you're married. You come home, you be one man laying in the bed, right in your room. So you say, because you were married to the woman, so you can't change your direction. God never said that. Fuck on here.
Oh my God, that's the only scenario.
Yeah, man.
I mean, when Dr. Moniba speaks, I mean, all the interviews that he's been on, I'm always fascinated by him. The fact that he is a young man, the fact that he has accomplished what he has accomplished, the fact that he has a dream and he has a fire burning in his belly to want to turn the direction of Liberia to a positive place, it makes me happy. It makes me happy because, during the war, a lot of our men, they died. And the ones that remain, they were never really able to pick themselves up. Some of them did, some of them didn't. And we see it even in this America. They've really never been able to function to the full potential of a man. Some of them even educated and they still cannot function properly as a man. So to see a young man in a race who's doing that, I think it's a plus for Liberian men. And I think Liberian men should have embraced them. But we see that they don't even embrace him because they don't embrace him because they say he's young. He should wait for his time. And like I tell people, nobody owns no time yet. Any one of us can go to bed and die. Even before this day, and anybody can die. So nobody owns nobody time. It is only God who regulates time. So nobody should tell anybody that it's not the time, that is not the place, and or they should go under somebody who is older than them. And that's the problem we have. It's almost like you are living in your parents' house and you grow up and you go to school and they pay for your schooling, you graduate and everything, and you still refuse to move from out of your parents' house. Regardless if you're making money, regardless if you're married, if you're married, you won't bring your wife and children back under your parents' roof. When are we gonna move from under our parents' shadow? When are we gonna stand in our own shadow? And that is why I'm proud of Dr. Moniba, because he's standing up as a 44 years old man and say, you know what? I'm gonna operate in my dream. I'm not going to let anybody dim my candle. It doesn't matter who tells me what. You can say I'm young. You can say it's not my time. You can say I haven't accomplished much. You can say I don't have that much experience, but I know who I am. The man knows his value. He knows what he's bringing to the table. He has laid out his plan. He knows how to explain it well. He knows exactly how he wants to execute it and the time frame in which he wants to execute it. What can be done at a certain time and what can be done during the course of his administration if he were to be elected. And so I admire that about him. I admire that he's not letting people push him or use his youth against him, because that's what most of the Liberians are doing. When young people aspire to do great, they tend to use their youth against them and say, no, you're too young. You know, they're person older than you. You're supposed to respect older person. What does respecting an older person have to do with your own personal dream? When our children go to school, they graduate high school, their very parents, they will take, their pa will put a cap on his head, their mom will take a gun and put it on. They will be happy for that child. They will be telling that child, oh, congratulations, my child. You know, don't stop here. Oh, the sky is the limit. You must shoot for the stars. They tell the children these things. When the children go to college, graduate, go and accomplish. When your child shooting for the stars, and then you say, no, slow down. You got to take time. How you shooting for the stars? You know, you hear too little bit long to reach to the sky. So that means all along, we as parents, we are lying to our children. We are deceiving our children, because that is what we see happening right before our eyes with Dr. Moniba. And I'm just happy that he's not letting anybody to push him around. He's not letting anybody to tell him what is his time or when is his time and what he should do. He has his dream. He would dare to, he would take a dive, and wherever it ends, and he has a right to do that. He does not have a right for somebody to tell him, say, bury your dream under somebody else. He's going to stand in his dream and he's going to go to the finishing line. Wherever the finishing line ends, and at the end of the day, he will say, you know what? I am satisfied because I did what I had to do. I knew what I wanted to do, and I did it. And that would be another accomplishment under his belt. And failure, I'm not saying he's going to fail, but failure is not such a bad thing. Failure is lesson learned. Failure is a stepping stone to greater things.
Thank you, Vera. And I would like to say, Samuel Kedo, welcome to the platform. And he says, and he knows what Liberia wants. He knows what Liberia needs. He knows the needs of Liberia. And he wants to help to bring that to fruition. And that's the happiest part about the whole thing. Veronica, George, I would like you to come in and tell me your very beautiful moment that you had last night. I saw you on the post right thing. I said, I want you to tell me the moment about Dr. Moniba shine on our interview. The man school us yesterday, man. I keeping that interview in a safe place. The man school, although he brilliant on all his interview, but he schooled us yesterday the nitty-gritty about what he would bring to Liberia, how he would deliver it, and the reason why it should be delivered. Come in, sister.
I think there was a lot of aha moments for me. But one of the best moments I think he got a little bit annoyed about was people kept saying that he was being supported by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And I think that was one of my aha moments right there, that he spoke up that, and he went as far as saying that's nonsense.
Yes.
Y'all need to come up and talk something good. I'm a grown man. Nobody tells me what to do. So I don't think Ellen Johnson, and let us make this clear here today, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, he worked in Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government like any other person, any other Liberian will work in a government. But when you come to find out that at a certain moment in your life that what you're putting in place is not working and you decide to walk away, that don't mean that you're stupid or you just don't want to be a part of the government. It means that because you want to be a straight person, you want to be true to yourself. And I think that was one of the moments that made me feel, I smiled when he said that. I'm like, well, he been so quiet for a while, and I think people are taking advantage of the moment that he's pushing his campaign out. He's pushing himself out there for people to know him, especially our young generation. And did you watch the number of viewers that are on there? It really hasn't been that much viewer until Dr. Moniba came out to speak. And Falcon said, he said, wow, every time you come, our platform go ballistic. And I felt very good that he was able to speak on that issue of somebody supporting him, not somebody supporting him all the time. If Ellen Johnson wants to come out and support him, we will welcome it because her vote counts.
But the thing is that I
don't think it should be she supporting him to be president over Barker for him to come out as a candidate to express himself that he is a candidate. That's what Dr. Moniba said, and I will read. Liberia needs a leadership revolution in favor of progress over poverty, competence over corruption, and love for the country over love for self. I'll leave it as that.
Yeah, Dr. Moniba. Hey, dear Moniba. Yeah, man. Yes.
I play the music.
I felt so proud. I said, this man, when he become president, that man will represent Liberia on the world stage. Look, at that time, we would be, even if we're not in Liberia, we're in America, yeah, we'll be feeling so good about Liberia. It's been a while since a real good leader had represented Liberia on the world stage and speak like a typical Liberian, but speak sense. I mean, I was amazed. But one of the parts that really got to me when somebody, because Liberians, they like to carry propaganda, they will be talking, and Ellen Johnson said he's supporting the man. They're looking for stuff, so they're looking for lies to tell, so that when a candidate can have their boost. And it's just wrong in an election. Don't try to lie. If you say anything about an election or a candidate, say the truth. But if you start to lie or things where you don't know, and that's the propaganda Liberians carry, that's the same thing they did. I killed a lot of people in the war, lying and just making up stories, and then they make believe stories. They believe themselves when they start to run with the propaganda. But one of the men called and he said that, because they asked Dr. Moniba and said, we want to hear from you because we heard that you would be second to Cummings. And you're going to be VP to Cummings, so we need you to say something. And Dr. Moniba said, I'm not in the race to be VP to anyone. I declare in this race, when I came in this race, I came to be president. And then the man called and said, and that they see boisterousness coming skin way, and that the reason why the Liberian people don't like him, but you cannot compare. You know why you cannot compare Liberian people? Because most of you are wicked and evil. So you look for things to press people down. You cannot compare. The reason is Cummings himself came in his race to be president. The reason why the VP team came up on Mr. Cummings was when they joined to be, when they collaborated to be CPP. So when they collaborated, they were coming as one group. That's the reason why people started saying he should go to as VP to Baga, or Baga should go as VP to him. So Cummings did not come in the race the first time, just say, you know what? Yeah, I come in, but I will just be vice president to Joseph Newman Baga. He did not do that. So they were in a collaboration. So they had to choose one person to lead that collaboration. One person was supposed to come second in that collaboration. Dr. Moniba did not come here in a collaboration. He came here by himself. So he cannot come here by himself, declare himself on January 17, which is my day, declare himself, and then you're telling him now he should be VP to somebody. Are you people ready? Y'all go back to school. That's all I can just say to you. Y'all need to go back to ABC at least and get a 6th grade graduation certificate. Because at least you stop in 6th grade, you will know way better than that, than to even say that. And I like the way he came on and said it. Because he was not in a collaboration to go with anybody as VP. He came by himself, and he will run as president for the Republic of Liberia. And I'm trusting that come October 10th. But then, a lot of Liberians will have made a direction to his side because they've seen the competency there. They've seen the education there. They also seen that he can deliver. They also seen that he has done this before. They also see the plans that he has for the country. His vision is broad. Everybody can see it. All you need to do is just say, you know what? When something fine, it's fine. Yeah. When a girl fine, she fine. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah, if you want a girl, she fine, you just gotta go after the girl. You can say, oh yeah, she fine, but I won't do it because the girl fine, she fine. That's all I gotta say. So I want her to come in because I want us to talk about some of Dr. Moniba policies, the agriculture policy. That thing can be too sweet to me. When the men talking, they think I drinking Kool-Aid. I swear, man, I actually drinking champagne. Yeah, his agriculture policy. I want you to come in on his agriculture policy because he had me dancing. I started imagining Liberia in the next 5 years or in the next 3 years. I started imagining Liberia. I said, oh my God. And then when he talked about the safety and security, the police officers and the army people, I was like, I just picture Liberia when I was a little child. You need to come in before I just talk to my God. Right now, just like I'm floating. Today I never had a good day, but right now, just anytime I just get dear money back, my body just like, yes. Because I so love Liberia and I want Liberia to be delivered. And I know this man has the technical know-how to deliver Liberia. Coming.
Before we get to agriculture, I was really happy that he talked about the police officers because, we always put mouth on the police officers. Even us with Lawani, we are hard on the police officers because we say that they don't do their job right. And I think yesterday he showed sympathy and empathy and care for the police officers. He even explained how can you even be mad at them when you haven't equipped them, when you haven't empowered them to do their job. So how do you get upset with them? How do you complain that they are not even doing their jobs? These are people who got families at home. They themselves are bosses in their home and they cannot even feed their children. And that is why the corruption is all over the place because they're just trying to get a buck or two to go home to be able to uplift their family and elevate their home too. So, I was really happy that, he and the other time he was on Spoon, he talked about them making in a positive way. And I think when he becomes president, he will really empower them in the security sector of Liberia will start to get strong or will be strengthened because when you empower the people who are supposed to secure us, then you can have confidence in the work that they do. So I was happy that I was really, really happy with, and he always say that. And I was also happy when he mentioned the fact that we're so into tribalism and not nationalism that to the point that even when they say Liberia is playing a game, not too many people show up. But let's say if it's a county meet, it's like the whole country is on lockdown. And so that nationalism and that tribalism thing, there has to come a time where we have to just do what we will all tribalism and just support Liberia. And that is why the last time we were on here, I think when we were talking and I mentioned that The people say Republic of Nimba, and I was saying there is nowhere called the Republic of Nimba. The Republic is Liberia, and Liberia should be our focus. How we're going to get there is going to be a tough task, but I believe that we can get there.
When
And
we are together.
yeah, together, if we see each other the same way, and we work together and hold hands despite our differences, we can make it. We can make that change. And coming to agriculture, and
Okay, you one on agriculture. I want to play a little bit of Dr. Muniba interview. They think sweet me, my dear. I swear, they sweet me. You're sorry. But interview, I was just like, I still can get what the interview. I am still happy. Even today when I was getting very sad, but when I did my interview, I said, you know what, Ali, I got something in my hand. I'm so happy for this year. But this is the
places. I'm proud of the work I've done in the previous administration. Even this ELW road that's being built right now, I was part of the team that helped to negotiate that money for the ELW to Coca-Cola Road. The frustration for me, this road should have been completed by 2019. We are in 2023, it is still not completed. When you look at the Lofa Road, that I also was part of the negotiations in terms of finding the contractors that broke ground in 2017. That road should have been completed in 2020. We are in 2023 right now, and it's still not completed. So the frustration and the reason I'm running for president is simply to say enough is enough. We cannot continue to develop this country in slow motion, which is what's happening. People in government may be enjoying, but the people who are in the rural areas, the people who are sleeping in darkness every day, the people who have to ride bike for 1 or 2 hours just to go give birth in a hospital or dying on the road, they don't have time to wait. So that's why I continue to insist to the Liberian people. Look for leaders right now who have the education, the energy, the experience, the expertise, the knowledge to develop this country and to develop this country now. We have to start to think that way. We have to take the ownership. Sierra Leone leaving us behind, Ghana leaving us behind. Don't even compare us to Ivory Coast or Kenya. We have to develop Liberia, and we have to do it now. But in order to do that, the infrastructure that you talked about, again, I'm proud. I was part of the team that helped to negotiate the $250 million that's providing Mount Coffee energy right down in Monrovia. I was also part of the team and chairman of LEC when we concluded the negotiations.
Quick question on that. The 250, that's the MCC?
Yeah,
money?
the MCC, exactly. Okay. The MCC. So the $250 million was what we negotiated. I was on the negotiation team of 4 of us who went to the US and finalized the negotiations for that $250 million. But even when you look at all of the connections that's being done in Monrovia right now, what people don't understand is that in 2015 and 2016, we concluded a negotiation for $60 million with the European Union to be able to, it was called Monrovia Consolidation, to be able to electrify all of the homes from Mamba Point going all the way down to Painesville. So a lot of this work that's being done right now, all of the homes and connections that's still being done today was negotiated by the previous administration, something I'm proud to say, either as chairman of the board of LEC or head of the President's Delivery Unit, where I oversaw all of the infrastructure development in this country. I'm proud to say that we're able to bring this, and the Liberian people are benefiting for it now. But the last thing I want to say to that is, even though I'm proud of the work we have done already, there is still more work to be done. It is not good enough. It's not good enough to say, oh, yeah, we built 5 roads, we built 6 roads. I oversaw the Somalia Drive Japanese highway. Yes, I'm proud of what I've done, but we need so much more work to be done in this country.
Thank you.
Yes, bro. You can come in. Dr. Muniba is saying that he's proud of what they accomplished in Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, but there is still more work to be done. And if this man could negotiate a lot and bring money to Liberia with a team, you know what he can do when he's president? He will do way more for Liberia. So you can speak on your agriculture, but you can speak on what he just said, and then speak on the agriculture, and then Veronica Josh will come. Because right now, sir, I'm just feeling happy that the video. Yeah, seriously, I am feeling happy. Liberians, you hear me and you hear me well. You open your eyeball. You open your eyeball. You pray for president. You pray for president. Some of you not fast. They say you're going some kind of mountain in Liberia, sleep there, or in the cold God send you the president now. You gotta look at it and say, you know what? And accept what God has sent you. You don't be like the people back in the day when Jesus came, they never saw it until it was too late. You pray and God had answered your prayer. All you need to do is change your direction and go to where God already answered your prayer to go. Fred, you can come in, Mama.
I mean, concerning the video, that you the clip that you just played, negotiation is a skill. Not everyone can negotiate. You know, everyone can have experience, everyone can have knowledge, everybody can be educated, but negotiation requires special skills. Not everybody know how to negotiate. I told you before, in one time we were talking and you said, oh, this and that. I say, Grills, everybody got an error. If you give me anything to sell, I will lose because I don't know how to sell to nobody. I'm able to sell anything to anybody. And part of negotiation is selling, because you have to sell a broken place to people who have to see beyond that broken place and and agree for what you are negotiating for. And not everybody able to do that. Some people will go negotiate and nothing will come from it. Other people will go negotiate and a whole lot plus more will come from there. And I think he has that with everything else that he has that as a gift, the negotiation skills and stuff like that. And I think throughout the conversation, I think it was one point in time when Eugene was mentioning his education, that he had a background in rhetorics, and he tried to downplay it. In my opinion, I think he tried to downplay it to say, oh, rhetoric means sweet mouth, and and I made my comment under there, but rhetoric is part of communication. It's not just sweet talk. Even though Dr. Moneyba answer it, but it's not just sweet talk. It's part of negotiation. It's part of sales. It's customer service. It's effective communication. How to know what you want. So rhetoric is a good thing. And I think on the show yesterday they tried to make it sound like it's a bad thing, but I just caution Liberians to go and read about. If anybody out there who's thinking that they want to go into that special area, don't let nobody discourage you. It's not a bad field. It doesn't mean that you are just a talker, you're an empty talker, or you're just a sweet talker. Everything has its pros and cons. And that's why I would say to that, he has that skill under his belt, and Liberian people should appreciate it, because when he becomes president, he will be able to negotiate on behalf of Liberia for a lot of things that Liberia needs. And we all know right now we are at a broken place. We got nothing. We are just in a dungeon. And so we need every help. We will need every help that we can get to elevate us and to start giving us a boost. And then we as Liberians will take it from there while the country is transitioning. And concerning the agriculture, I like when he tried and when he put it into context and when he put place. Because most Liberians, when you talk about agriculture, they just think it's just farming, it's just growing food and just selling it. And you go and you make a farm here and you grow something and you sell it domestically, or you are able to trade it outside of your confines of the country. And that is not what it is. And like he rightly put it, agriculture involves a lot of things, and agriculture can bring a lot of employment to a country in a different ways besides going on a farm and using cutlass. And that is why the days of cutlass gone. We're not dealing with cutlass. I don't even like to hear cutlass, but those days are gone. We got so much technology out here in this modern century that farming, the kind of farming equipment and farming tools we have, people don't even have to go and bend their backs anymore to start using hook to dig the grass and cut it and stuff like that. Agriculture is big. It's a big area of employment, because if you're going to use those big machines, first of all, you have to train people to do it. The training side of it is employment by itself, because those who will be training those people who already have expertise to train those people to use the farming equipment, they themselves will be getting paid for training people. The people who are getting trained and get hired, they themselves going to get employed and gainfully employed. So those who are going to be the strategists, those who are going to be the landscapers, those who are going to be consultants, those who are going to be traders, those who are actually going to be doing the farming, those who own the land. I mean, it is so much. And I just ask the Liberian people when they hear agriculture, let them take a little bit more time and just do reading. If you don't have a book to read on agriculture, just go on Google and Google agriculture and see what it involves and regarding employment and stuff, especially employment, because even though we need food to eat in Liberia, but you also want to make sure you are providing employment for Liberian people, because when people are employed, they're able to take care of themselves. At the end of the day, they're happy. And when we Liberians are in a happy place, when we are able to take care of our family, that's how you try to curb corruption. Corruption starts. We don't have a need to be stealing anymore because they're gainfully employed. They are making sufficient enough to take care of themselves and their family. So agriculture is good, but Liberians are just so narrow-minded. When you say agriculture, the only thing they can think about going on the farm and working.
Yeah, and agriculture, besides what the list of stuff that I've read, agriculture also has administration and it has management. So for the people who in administration part of the agriculture, because they have to have people in administration for the hiring process, for all the documentations and how to actually count what going on the farm, and all those things. They will have accountants within that administration as well. Then they will have the people who will manage the agriculture and the office and whatsoever going on. So it's vast. It's very vast. So I thank God that Dr. Moniba was able to lay it down for them yesterday, and that's why I say he was schooling Liberian people yesterday. He schooled us. He schooled the people on the platform. He schooled us. We were watching, and we appreciate him for schooling us. But Samuel K. Doze, God has answered our prayer. So it left with us now to take it or leave it. But for me, as far as for us, we take it. God finished answering a prayer. He already said he put it so that it there. So he said that people gonna answer the prayer, they gotta take it or they gotta leave it. But I want you to come in on. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, and also he talked about the solar power. As you see in America now, you see a lot of people are using the solar power, the solar system in America here, and that is a very great, is economical, and it's very good to power saver. And he talked about that. What are we? Because I think the problem is the hydro plant. When are they going to build those different hydro plants in those different water rivers around the counties for everybody to get to have power? But if you look at the solar system in America, a lot of people are it's cost efficient now. For a lot of electricity bill is high, but if you have solar panel in your house, and my girlfriend right down the street from me, she does have the solar panel, and she said she was paying over $100 a month for her electricity. When the solar panel came in, she paid less than $25 a month.
But they also have the solar panel in Liberia. A lot of people using it.
Yeah, and I did like that part where he talked about is best for us to get the solar power in the country where it is more efficient for our people, especially in the interiors, in those different interior where electric power it's gonna take years for electricity to go in those rural areas, especially
if the person who in power know what they do, it doesn't have to actually take too many years for that to happen, because Nigeria did it. The people of villages, they hinder laying Nigeria, the real village, they all got power. So it just depends on the leadership that would be in power that really serious for the thing to happen. It can happen.
Yeah, and also he talked about the technical skills of our students who are coming out of high school, that they can have those skills coming out, being carpenters.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. I wanted to ask you what you think about his education plan. High school graduate.
That was great. That was one of the great moments too, especially when it comes to education in Liberia. Education, we're talking, but we know that we have to come down when we're talking. That's why we speak. All of us on this platform, we're we are well-spoken people. We have our very high educational background, but we speak like our own Liberians because we have to come down to the nitty-gritty of how our Liberian people understand us. So that's why we speak the way we speak. And but if you want to talk about us coming and speaking like we are Americans, you won't even understand some of the things that we will speak. But but we come here and speak to our Liberian people the Liberian way. And I say this to say education, that's why education is power in Liberia. We need to be educated. Our people need to be educated. If our people are educated, that voter system, that voting fraud that we're looking at, that those kids are coming out to go and vote, if we are educated, our people have that mind to understand that your child is not supposed to register when he or she is not 18 years up, that will make a big difference in Liberia.
Yeah, thank you, Vero. And Popo King, he says, sure, agriculture, major source of employment in Ivory Coast. A lot even here in America, the farmers are one of the richest group of people in the United States. I did not know that until I started working with the people system. The farmers are one of the richest group of people in the United States. So agriculture provides a lot of income and a lot of money to individuals, and it also go to the society as well. So agriculture, I really like Dr. Moniba agriculture plan, and I pray that he becomes president of Liberia. I pray that people vote him into power so he can be able to deliver for our country. But I will talk about the military. The security sector, I wanted to ask if working me a little bit, but I will talk about the military. His plan for the military, where he want to recruit 20,000 Army Corps of engineers to help rebuild our nation. I just always like, for the security sector, that one of the things I really like in any country for the people to feel safe, because once safety is abroad, any good thing will happen. Investors will come into the country. They know that, they come into a place where the people are not murdering people and going for free. We are not saying that things will not happen, but we are saying that investigations will be done. And, and the people who are responsible for those things that occur will go to prison for it. And I like the way Dr. Moniba wants to empower the army and also the police people in the country. I remember when I went to Liberia in 2018, and I used to drive, always I used to drive to go back to my hotel, because I would go across the bridge to my mother's house, and then I would come back to the hotel in Cinco Boulevard. And every time I get to the junction of going to, I forgot that, but Capital Bypass, there's a junction there going down to another area. I forgot the name of that area, but every time I get there, I would meet one policeman right to that junction. And that policeman was he was so dirty. His uniform was so dirty. I know he tried to maintain it, and he couldn't maintain it because he only had one uniform. Dr. Moniba talked about that. He talked about how the police officers, they should have more than one uniform, and all the kind of things. And he had that one uniform, was so dirty, and you could tell that he was fighting. He cleaned it, but it was just dirty. So every time I see him, I would just feel dirty, to tell you the truth. The looks of the uniform and won't turn me off. But he was a pleasant man. So every time we pass there, we'll stop and we'll talk to him, we'll laugh, and then we'll take up something and give it to him. We say, you're doing well. We pass there, the money was here, he was directing traffic, the traffic went on web. So you're doing well. He will laugh with us, and he will say, yeah, Mario, God bless you, and stuff like that. Like, people are so humble. When I see the things, I want to cry. And every time I pass that, we see, I wanted to actually buy him a uniform. The uniform was so dirty. But I don't know how to go about the process. So I was just giving him money. Every time I passed, I was giving him $20. And the last day when we were leaving to go to the airport, I went across the beach and I was passing there, and I was really looking forward to seeing him, because that day I had $50 to give him. And when I got there, he wasn't there. So I asked the pastor, but what my police officer? They said, he was here, but he left. He was supposed to come back. I tried turning around to the place, but if I delayed too much, I would have missed my flight. So, and I never trust anybody to get in that money, and I just left. But that police officer never left my heart. He never left my mind. He never left it. And sometimes I still think about him. And when Dr. Moniba came to say that, it touched me so greatly. That's why I said, This man, I have to make sure I run his campaign to the best of my ability. Because the mere fact that he thinking about the people in a country like this, he loved the country so much. He think about the police officer, and I actually witnessed that firsthand. And it wasn't when I mean I witnessed that. I had people in the car with me that with my husband and myself witnessing. And that police officer was on the fly and we kept on talking about him. And I pray maybe he's still alive. One day I will go back and meet him. But those are the things that are very crucial to our nation. You know, those common things and the disrespect to police officers just because they are not paid well. And they don't, they are not, most of them are not trained. In this country, even the job that we do, every other week I have to do training on my job with different things. Sometimes we go over the training. You know, every year we have to go over training so we can be, on the alert and remember, what we are doing. And most of the people are not getting trained. They are not getting retrained, and they are not up to the standard. But Liberia can change that around. If we have a good leader in the country, that can be changed around. So his military plan really touched my soul to the core because I'm a person who like to help people. And I believe that people who serve the country should be well taken care of because they gave their life for the country. My mother was an SSS, so she gave her life for almost 30 years to Liberia, working in the government. So I know what some of the things that she had to go through, So that is the military plan. I'm just blown away with it. I'm just blown away with it. So I want you guys to come in. We are about to close because usually we don't ever finish our topic because we have a lot of things to discuss. But you can just come in and say anything you want to say at this point, 2 minutes, about Dr. Moniba and everything that he stands for. And you should tell the people why you think that Dr. Moniba is the right candidate at this time. Why did you vote him into power? So which one of you want to come first?
Well, I can go. I can close up. First of all, this was a great topic. At least we're able to create awareness for our viewers out there. And we want to thank everybody who came out to watch us and listen to us. Sammy K. Doe, I know you're a true fan of Dr. Moniba, so you're out there. Grace, I know you're touched by the police officer, but Dr. Moniba did say a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. And I can tell you, he shut Spoon Network down yesterday. He shut them down because all the questions that came at him, he was going back with it right and left. And all the panelists were like shocked. The first time he came, he shot all of them down again, and he did it again yesterday. So we're happy that we have a young man, an aspiring young man that comes out to speak his platform. He's ready to debate. He's ready to get to talk to go down to the rural area and talk to his people. And this is what we're looking for, Liberians. We're telling you now again, open your eyes. See a true leader that means a lot, that have a lot of love and passion for the country. He talk about everything that Liberia needs right now. So come out, think about it, know that your vote belong in the country. It belongs in Liberia. Your vote means a lot to Liberia. And thank you, ladies, for coming up. And thank you, ladies, for the topic. It was nice talking with everyone.
Thank you. Okay.
Have a good one.
Yeah, if you are, you can come in.
Dr. Moniba is human. What I like about him when he speaks about these issues that are close to his heart, you can see his humanity in it. You actually feel the humanity. You actually see that he feels the pain of the Liberian people, and he wants to take them to a better place. There was a song in Liberia, I think you all know it, that used to play on ELW, and it said, he comes down to your level if you open up your heart. I think we all know that song. And I feel like that's the...
Can you sing it?
Huh?
Can you sing? I don't remember the song. Can you sing it?
He comes down
to your level
if you
open up your heart. Yeah, I know it.
Hey, man, you can let Ross sing a song. Rob, you sing it.
Oh, you are living this something, the song. You know the song, Chris.
Just sing the chorus for me. I can't remember it.
Some my girls, yeah.
I don't remember parts of it, but it said, He comes down to your level if you open up your heart. Da 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 da. And he show you what living is. It show you living is. I forgot the words in between, but looking at Dr. Moniba, I kind of feel that way about him. I feel that he humbles himself to the people. The fact that he goes to every sector of the country, whether it's in an academic setting, whether it's in a marketplace, whether it's to the circles, whether it's just in the community to the intellectual centers, he's making himself available to everybody at every level. No one is too low for him to go and see or to speak to or to just chit chat with them. We saw the other day when he went in so clean the Jacob Time era and how he was doing. They were doing weights. He was doing weights with the children and they were cheering him because they didn't think that he could do that. And they was saying, "Oh, Bobby, you can do that thing too. We didn't know that you were a body man." All the things there, and he had fun with a young man there. And I like that about him because no one is too low for him.
Yeah.
No one is too low for him. And I kind of felt bad when he was, honestly, I have to confess, I felt bad when he was talking about the police officers because this is the second time mentioning it. And I said, damn, we always, when we're talking on Lawani issues, with all the crimes going on in the country, especially rape, we really be hard on the police officers because, we go after them and we tell them how they're incompetent, how they're that, and they don't know what they're doing. Whereas those poor people, they don't even have no kind of tools. Like he said, they don't even have handcuffs to handcuff anybody. How do you work like that? And I'm just telling the Liberian people, when somebody shows you their heart, especially if they are human, someone who feels your pain is someone who you should vote in power. Because when you feel pain, it means that person feel pain. If you're hurt, it means that person is also hurt. If you go hungry, it means that person also feel your hunger. You need somebody who is human. And I feel that Dr. Clarence Moniba is the one. Plus, he is young. He has a lot of strength. He has a lot of ideas. He has a bold vision to move Liberia forward, and that is why he coined the phrase "a new Liberia," because things have to be different. We don't want our back in the days Liberia, like somebody said, normal days. We're not even normal, to tell you the truth. So we just want a new Liberia where we all can just live as one people. And that is why we keep telling people, let us forget the tribalism thing. It has not helped us and it will not help us. Let us all be nationalists. Let us all look as Liberia, as the republic, as the country, and let us all live as one people. Dr. Moniba has the ability, he has the capability, he has the experience. He is that sophisticated that when he steps on the global stage, world leaders are going to respect him. Yes. And Liberia needs to be respected again among her peers as the oldest nation. She needs to be respected again. She needs to be that beacon. And I think Dr. Moniba can take Liberia to that place of being a beacon in the world.
Thank you, Fira. And I would like to thank you guys for us being here today. I would just like to say that Dr. Moniba, his healthcare plan is also a very good plan. And he's looking forward to putting 73 district a hospital in all the 73 districts. So they will have major hospitals in those districts. And that's one of the things that is very important to me. I want to share the screen right now. There's a medicine on the market. For myself, talk about it. Was supposed to talk about it today, but we're not going to that right now because we are leaving. But there's a medicine on the market right now. You see that medicine? Yet the last time we were here, we talked about this woman who her daughter was practically murdered at the Hope for Women Clinic in Liberia under the leadership of Wilhelmina Jala, the health minister. The woman's daughter was killed, at the hospital because they gave her the wrong medication. So we're tapping into a nurse that we connect with when it comes to Liberian Women Advocacy Network International, and she knows so much about this drug. And this is a drug they have on the market. We want you to look at it keenly. This drug, they are giving it to people. I think the name on the drug is, the name on it right is mesofin, but the real name for it, the pharmaceutical name is misoprostol at 20 milligram. Satotype, common name, that what they use in like satotype. But they got the package have mesofin. You have to be careful. You don't want to get your children this drug. The people using it on pregnant women, they're using it for criminal abortion in Liberia. They are using it when they go have something to do with a man and they think they're pregnant. They take it. This medicine is killing a lot of people in Liberia. We wanted to share with you guys today. Please be mindful. Be very, very mindful. You don't want to take this medication and end your life for no reason. And so I want to say thank you for watching. God bless you guys. And we'll see you here next time when we are here. Have a blessed rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Don't sell your vote. Do not sell your vote. Have a nice day, a nice evening. Bye.